first one's going to be speed. You got to have speed. This is my secret piss spot. I'm very proud of it. Oh my God, where am I? This is ridiculous. Be a good place to do some crack. Oh, you know what this is? There's a bunker in here. I'm gonna tell you guys right now what you're gonna need for a bike in a long trip, because yes, I took that, I took this Supermoto, this DRZ 400 SM, all the way around America, and I did it, but I didn't do it because it was the perfect bike. There's two reasons. I thought it'd be fun to have a Supermoto, and the second reason is there's this whole stigma, and all I've ever heard about, let me turn off my music. There we go. And all I've ever heard about is people saying, oh yeah, you can't go more than 20 minutes on a Supermoto and your ass hurts. And it's like, really? Like, all right, I was doing 400 or 500 miles a day, no problem. You know, you'll be fine. So I wanted to cover that. And I also wanted to cover the idea that you can get out on a bike, you know, no matter what bike it is, you can go do whatever you need to do. It's not always going to be the most fitting bike. But at the end of the day, it got you out and you got to go do what you wanted to do. And, you know, later on, you'll find out what other bike is going to suit you more, what kind of riding you like. So, you know, I knew I didn't want a crotch rocket. I knew I didn't want an adventure bike. And so I didn't know what I wanted at all. And so I just said, whatever, I'll get a Supermoto. And so I accomplished those major things when I got this, and I'm glad that I got to open up some people's minds when it came to traveling on bikes, because everybody was thinking that you always had to have a BMW GS to travel, and you don't. And I was able to prove that, so that felt good. I was very happy to be able to get some people on the road with what they had. But the other thing I've learned about bikes, when you go on a long trip, you really need a lot of power. And you might say, well, Spence, go figure. You know, you need a lot of power, because something nobody talks about is a lot of the time there's going to be headwinds, because right now all you guys see are trees. It's just trees everywhere. But when you're going across the country, a lot of, in my case, America doesn't have trees all over the place. It's a lot of openness, because it's just like an empty shell with some people around the borders and scattered in the middle. So that's what made me realize I need a lot of power, and you need a lot of aerodynamics. And the aerodynamics of a Supermoto with these floppy fenders, they don't always do it. Right? Actually, it's the opposite of what you want, because it's meant to stay cool at low speeds, but when you're at high speeds with a 40-mile-an-hour headwind for, you know, a week straight, it's not ideal. So with that said, I have decided that for me, and a lot of you guys probably know, if you follow my channel, you've been watching my stories, then you're gonna know what I'm looking at for a bike. And I actually just did something today, and you'll find out here in a little bit. So go ahead, follow along to find out what I did, and I'm very proud of it, but I can't say yet. It's got to be a surprise. So let me get some fuel here. Anyway, so I'm not going to go too far into what you need out of a bike for a trip, but I will say there's some things that you have to have and some things, you know, that you can go without, and I'll get into that in a minute. But back to what I was talking about. So yeah, so like I said, you need to get the best bike to travel and do what you need to do and get on a bike is a bike. So I'm going to stand firm by that. The best bike is a bike, any bike that gets you out doing what it is you want to do. And yeah, bikes are always going to have their strong suits. This is not a long-range bike at all. And I did what I needed to do with it. Just as an example, I have an FZ07. I could have bought another bike, but I bought this one. And it had a job to do. It did it. It had a point to make. It made the point. So I'm really happy with that. But with that said, I'm going to go into the actual things that I need to travel non-stop on a motorcycle. And first one's going to be speed. You got to have speed. And a lot of places there's going to be 80-mile-an-hour speed limits. So when you're dealing with 80-mile-an-hour speed limits, not a soul in sight, you're also going to have to stay ahead of that traffic. And so traffic obviously isn't going to do the speed limit. You're looking at traffic holding 90 to 100 steady across a lot of America, which is an issue. When you're on a bike that'll cruise comfortably at 70, you're gonna have an issue with cars passing you, and that's gonna suck, because it does suck. I'll tell you it sucks. And the major thing is truck drivers. Truck drivers don't care. I almost had an Amazon truck kill me. Plenty of trucks tried to kill me. They don't care. They're on drugs and they're drunk, so it doesn't really matter. But wow, that guy, Jesus, holy shit, he needs a white sweater around his neck. So that's the major thing. And you can handle that simply by getting a bike that'll hold a comfortable 100. If you have a bike that can hold a comfortable 100, that's ideal. So that's the first thing. And then I also said, you guys heard me say aerodynamics. I got to turn my music off. Trying to do both is wild. And so with aerodynamics, the major thing is, did they just get a light and I didn't? Oh my God. You're kidding me. We didn't even get a left light. So aerodynamics. And when I say you need a bike with good aerodynamics, I'm not saying perfect. I'm not saying streamlined like a wind tunnel. What I'm saying is you need a bike that doesn't have big fairings that stick out, because you're going to be dealing with a lot of headwind, especially in the States, and that sucks. So if you can eliminate that, you're good. And by that, you can do that with a naked bike. I'm a big naked bike fan. I have my FZ. My FZ is great. And so that's pretty much it. Get a bike that can hold a comfortable 100, and make sure it doesn't have big service intervals as well. I know like Panigales and stuff like that, you have to go and you got to mess with valve clearance and do some other stuff every 6,000 miles. I'm sure there's plenty of other specialty bikes, right? And there's definitely some bikes that you need to stay away from for long road trips. This thing has very easy long service intervals, which made it ideal. And it didn't burn any oil at all on the trip in between oil changes. So that was another cool thing. But that's all you really need out of a bike. That's it. I mean, some people do travel. They do travel and tour on crotch rockets. They do. You know, it's, I mean, a crotch rocket does have benefits. You can get out of the wind. Naked bike, yeah, you sit upright, you're comfy, but where are you going to spend most of your time? You're going to be on a highway. If you can lean over and get out of that wind, you know what I mean? You can do it on any bike, and they all have their perks and benefits, but at minimum, you've got to be able to hold 100 miles an hour comfortably and inevitably for the trip. Because staying out in front of traffic is how you get home safe. That's the most important thing. And I know I'm saying this, and I'm saying that's a perfect bike, because like I said, I have a surprise for you guys. But I'm never going to go back on saying that the best bike is a bike to get you out doing what you need to do. So if you don't have a bike that can hold 100, and it's not perfect, maybe the service intervals are a little bit tighter, maybe the reliability is a little wonky, you're fine. Just do it. Just fucking do it. You'll be all right. Give you some character. But that's pretty much going to sum it up for the bikes, because that's what I've learned you need. And also, if you can get a helmet that's good at canceling out wind noise, do it. I haven't found one. If you guys know one, please comment. I'm desperate. Right now I'm rocking an Icon Variant Pro. I love it, but some noise dampening would be absolutely amazing. And yeah. So with that said, we're going to be crossing over a bridge here, and I'm going to be taking you guys to Fort Preble. Now, Fort Preble has a crazy history, and a lot, you know, it's Portland, Maine. It's the tip of America when it comes to Europe. When you come from Europe, the first tip of America you're going to hit is going to be Maine. So Maine's harbors were heavily defended, and this is just some cool things. You know, maybe you want to visit, maybe you don't know it. A lot of people don't know a lot about Maine, because it's just some pilgrim town somewhere, some city, you know, northeast. Nobody knows a lot about it that's not from, you know, the East Coast. But I'm just trying to go around, you know, while I'm here. Right now, I'm not on these trips right now, so I want to show you while I'm here. And yes, in a little bit here, right now I'm full-fledged construction season, so time off is scarce. You can already see Fort Gorgeous out there. But time off is scarce right now. And when it's not scarce, I'm going to be doing some cowboy shit, you know, sleeping on the ground again, traveling, going around the States. But for now, I figured there's so much cool stuff around here I could show you, give you some riding advice. But yeah, I got my little notes here. I mean, you can see it's a lot of notes. So I'm only gonna share the cool stuff, right? So the fort I'm gonna take you to, I'll start off with this. It did have a bit of a Green Mile experience, which is sad, but I'm gonna tell you guys because, you know, it's a crazy history behind this fort. But for the most part, the first thing is the fort I'm going to take you to was actually took part, and it was the part of it was the Battle of Portland, Maine. It was actually a bunch of Confederates came in, they stole an American ship. So they stole this ship and they went to go flee. They realized they weren't going to get away, so they blew up this U.S. Navy vessel. And I think this is in the 1860s. Whenever the Civil War was. I'm not big on Civil War history. I just wanted to show you guys something cool. But so the Confederates couldn't get away. They blew up the ship, and you know, they were eventually captured. And believe it or not, they ended up, you know, they didn't get killed. They got taken prisoner, and they were later, you know, given back as a trade offer, which is, you know, that's just what you do in war. You want to get your boys back home. It's nice, it's glowing, it's sunny, so I figured today was a great chance to take you guys out for a video. But yeah, so anyway, Fort Preble was involved in that, right? They sent people out. It was 100 civilians went out to blah, 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 and they all went and they caught the Confederates. But it was the Battle of Portland Harbor, and it came out of this fort. But this fort has some other cool stuff going on with it, where, again, the Green Mile I'll save for the end, because it's, you know, a bit of a bummer, but it is a cool part of history. It's not cool, but it's interesting. I gotta always remember, interesting and cool are completely different sometimes. So look how sunny it is. You guys got to remember, it's been raining here for the last 2 weeks, so that's why I wanted to get out and get a video for you today at 7:24, even though I'm exhausted. Whoa! What was that? Let's see. They're gonna see me in this light too. But oh, you know what I did? I went the wrong way. That's all right. It's all right, maybe shouldn't do that. All right, so some other stuff about this fort that's pretty cool is that when we were at war with the British, after the war, everything had gone by, everything had settled out, and what had happened was we had to get our people back. We had to get the Americans home, and when the Americans came back, they came back to Fort Preble on the ships. So when they came into Portland and they finally saw home again, they showed up at Fort Preble, which is, you know, it's cool to think that some people were going through the worst moments of their lives, and the first thing they saw was the view you're about to see of this fort. And unfortunately, they didn't all make it because, you know, they were prisoners of the war, so they weren't the most well kept after. But oh my, all I smell is weed. Might as well enjoy Commercial Street. God, it smells good. This entire city just smells like amazing food. And I do need to make a pit stop. Desperately. This is my secret piss spot. I'm very proud of it. And my favorite part about it is that everybody's in these condos right here. They all spent millions of dollars, or at least $1 million, on these condos just so they could watch me take a piss. And I think that's funny. I really do. Oh God, I'm just getting over a bad cold. So, let's see. I don't know how much battery I have on this GoPro. Hopefully, it's not too low. Alright. So, you know what I mean? They just pay all this money just to watch me show up and, you know, let her rip. It's kind of funny. But I'm sure they see worse. Because even though it is a beautiful little city, not everybody wants to go work construction every day, so they chose an amazing occupation of going out and doing fentanyl and getting arrested every weekend. But, which sucks, because now I don't have any help in construction, and these people are just doing crazy shit out in Portland. So you're gonna notice something when you go to this fort and you see it. What you're gonna notice is there's no guns, and you might think, oh, they took them down after, you know, where are all the cannons? Where are they? Well, during World War II, they actually shipped them all off to France because everybody was so desperate for firepower. So all the guns from this fort, for the most part, went off to France, which is, you know, kind of crazy that guns from this fort went over to France to fight the war. And, you know, you guys might say, oh, Spence, you're always talking about, you know, all this military stuff. That's just the kind of history. I'm sure we have some other history around Portland, but most of Portland, Maine's history is going to be based around military, because it's the tip of America for Europe. You know what I mean? I'm all set. Look at this, just in time for the red. That's usually the program. So yeah, so that's the other thing you're gonna find out that's pretty interesting about it. But the other one is gonna be, yeah, I mean, it's pretty much just a fort. I'm not gonna talk it up like it's anything crazy, but I'll save it for when I get there and actually show you guys what's going on with it. You know, so instead of just, I'd rather explain while I'm there, because you guys will be able to understand more. I don't just want to be like blabbering around and you guys have no context at all. Sorry, buddy. I'm getting out right at sunset. I've just been trying to get out here. I wanted to get this video, but I'm like, I can just squeeze in enough time to get this video and the sun will just start to go down. Oh, this was a massive homeless encampment. See how it's all gated off now? They had a homeless city here. And some of you guys might be used to that and say, oh yeah, well, homeless, big whoop. No, this was a city, and we are in Portland, Maine. Portland, Maine is full of a lot of hard-working people. So for people just to be out doing crack, you know, and, you know, pissing off while we all work our asses off, that's very, very strange, and that's not normal. So for them to be able to somehow accumulate like that is ridiculous, because that's, I don't even know how you survive in Maine doing that. But yeah, very interesting. Here's some nice little, I never go down this way. Some nice little buildings right here. That's cool. Little scurvy setup. Some ships. I'm gonna get some good sun. Oh my God, I can't see anything. Yeah, this is where you want to be careful, because somebody's just gonna come ram you right up the ass and you're gonna go down. All right. Where am I? We should be going on to the $1 Million Bridge right here. Yeah, we are. All right. $1 Million Bridge. This is actually a $1 million bridge that cost way more than $1 million. So, believe it or not, a bridge company went over budget. I know that sounds crazy. Wait a second. Where am I? It's so funny getting lost in your own town. There's the, that's not even it. Oh my God, where am I? This is ridiculous. Oh God, hold on. Oh my God, I just pulled a rookie mistake. That's incredible. Oh my God. Well, there's a fuel depot anyway. It smells like shit. Fuel leaching all into the ground. Scarborough. Oh my God. Man, did I just get fucking wrecked. Alright, I'm gonna get back with you guys once I get this sorted. Is closed, and now I am completely fucked. Oh my God. I came out here for one reason and one reason only, so we need to get off of this highway ASAP. The sun's going down. The sunset is literally in 20 minutes. So we're gonna take this first exit and see what we can do. Somehow that didn't cost us that much. We're doing all right. Casco Bay Bridge, all right. This is the bridge I wanted. That is so funny. So right here, so this is the trains rolling in, everything. This is a fuel depot. And these fuel depots are and they're obviously set back out of the harbor. And you might say, well, Spencer, it's kind of inconvenient that they aren't closer to the shipping, right? The reason they're back here is when people would come in and the German U-boats would come in to Casco Bay, Portland Harbor, the problem is they could just shoot up the fuel and the whole thing goes up because they wanted our fuel depots. But since it's all the way in here, they couldn't get to it nearly as easy. And they tried. They definitely tried, but they did not make it. And they were right off the coast. And I have another video where I literally show you where they were and how close they were when they were taking people out, which is crazy how close they were. Wow, I was so far off. I cruised right by my turn. I'll leave you on for the bridge. How about that? I'll just leave you on the whole time. I am sad though because I only have so much more time on this bike, so I'm trying to enjoy it because my time's running up on this bike. I won't tell you exactly what's going to happen until it happens, but it's definitely a bummer, you know. Okay, so that's the bridge I thought I was going to be on. That is amazing. I am absolutely incredible. I cannot believe I just blew right past that. I mean, that's hard work to blow by a turn like that. To blow by a bridge. Oh, my ass. How big are some of these bumps to hurt me with a dirt bike suspension, you know? Here we go. I gotta chill out. I really, I never go this way. Woo! So here is the Casco Bay Bridge. This is where I thought I was. I was way over there, but you can see Casco Bay, some more fuel depots over there. Nice bridge. This right here is the actual $1 million bridge that costs way more than $1 million. I'm glad I finally got the right bridge. Such a nice night. See, you know what I mean? Look at that. That's awesome. And the rest of the week is probably going to rain, so even though I'm exhausted, I'm tired, I want to make dinner and get some other stuff done on the computer. I want to be really glad I got this video for you guys when the weather's so nice. And it's probably going to look incredible at the fort. And as funny as it sounds, I am excited to run out of these cool forts to show you guys, solely because I have other stuff I want to talk about. But in the meantime, I enjoy giving you guys riding tips, and you know, I'm here. So for me to not cover the history of my hometown is pretty insane. So that's why I'm doing it. But I'll get to you guys when I get closer to the fort and just cut out this video, because I do have to edit this, believe it or not. Look at that guy. Can't see me, I'm stealthy. That was an old girl. And something interesting you'll find about this military fort is that it's actually a college now. This is actually the college I went to, and then I dropped out and got into construction. I could barely afford fuel to get to college. I just dropped out. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't want to be here, and I was coaxed into it, but you know, for whatever reasons. But yeah, I was definitely happy to be done with it. Oh my God. So yeah, so this was built on a military fort. This entire thing in here, pay attention to all these brick buildings and stuff. This was all a fort originally. And there is, where is it? There's an actual tower here. It's a lookout tower right here. This is one of the original lookout tower right here. And it's still standing today. Pretty interesting. It's got a plaque. I'm not gonna read it right now. Look at these fucking kids. That's so funny. And I'll do a little loop for you guys. You can just see how old. I mean, look at that. That's an old military fort. You can see they just built it into a building. And that's fucking. I gotta see these fucking guys. That is so funny. But there's a trail right there. No parking, fire lane. Kiss my ass. What is this? See how much battery I have? Oh, we got this all day. I never climbed up this. Be a good place to do some crack. Oh, you know what this is? There's a bunker in here. So you can see, yeah, that's pretty much it. All the stuff the Confederates stealing the boat, everything else, the Nazi U-boats coming in, the submarine nets and everything were all kept in here. There's Fort Gorges, there's a lighthouse. That's a steep hill, kind of winded. And for reference, Fort Gorges never even got used for anything important because it did, but it was built too late. All right, let me show you the rest of this. But yeah, here's a cool spot right here anyway. Hey, check this out. Again, this is what I was talking about. These big guns here got sent off to France to go fight in the war. Yeah, that's pretty cool. No parking on the grass, no parking. They don't say anything about riding. You know what I mean? Fuck it. Woo! Oh, look at that save. Wow. This is cool. Good way to get a flat. Yeah, I'll tell you what, let's do this. Let's, oh, that's cool. I think I saw a cool spot to climb up. They're gonna get so mad. They're gonna be like, he's driving the wrong way. Don't care. No, I'm sure everybody's fine. Let's check this out. So one thing about being an adult, you can kind of just do what you want. You know, to a point, but how are we doing? How you guys doing on battery, huh? Oh, you're doing great. So, another big gun that was gone. There was a big gun here, gone, and they had all kinds of reasons for being in these buildings. Yeah. Oh, that's why I'm athletic, baby. It's front row parking when you're on a bike. You know, bikes park everywhere. Honestly, probably could ride up here. I probably won't be able to. But yeah, big gun, off to France, gone. And God, it was crazy in here, huh? Wow, check this out. And it's crazy to think that this is actually where somebody would have been fighting, and there was fighting here. Which is nuts that there was fighting here. There was a lot of stuff, but wow, look at that. Man. Another gun gone off to France. I'm not even gonna walk down a cruise ship. I'm not even gonna walk down because you guys get a better view here. But yeah, you can see why this was here. It's actually that fort, maybe not that fort. There's another fort out here that made this obsolete though. No, maybe it wasn't. Anyway, there's another one down there I'll show you too later on some other day. But yeah, this is it. And now that we're here, enjoying this beautiful view, I promise you I would tell you about some Green Mile story. Or, is it Green Mile? I can't remember. The movie with Tom Hanks where it's kind of a sad movie. But it is the history of this fort, so I have to tell you guys, and I'll tell you while I walk around, check out some more stuff. So you have something to actually pay attention to. And again, just remember, there's a whole infrastructure under me that you can walk. It's a big building underneath this. You know, obviously this was all camo. Big smoke vent. But here's the deal. Back in the day when this fort was young and it was the Civil War, you know, tensions were high. What? What's the deal with this? I thought you could go in. Never mind. So what happened was they were drafting everybody into the Civil War, and obviously people didn't like that because nobody wants to go to war and die, which, you know, makes sense, right? But back in the day, they didn't understand what being mentally challenged meant. They had no idea, right? If you're just mentally challenged, you know, lazy, moron, idiot. And so what ended up happening was there was a guy, I think his name was Billy, Billy, call him Billy for this sake. Billy was mentally challenged. He came here. He got bullied in some other fort, and he ended up getting stationed here with the 17th Army Division or something like that, I think. And Billy got bullied so bad here that he deserted. And what happens when you desert during the Civil War era, they track you down and they put you down. So Billy got caught back in Berwick. Billy was in Berwick, and they caught him there. They brought him back here, and mind you, this guy was mute. Completely mute, because I shouldn't even say mute, he was illiterate. He was mentally challenged. He was so disabled. And Abraham Lincoln, being the guy he was, found out about this, and he said, hey guys, he's mentally challenged, he's pardoned, don't worry about it, keep this guy out of the war. And what ended up happening was he sent the telegram. I think it was a telegram. He sent the telegram, and it never made it. And why didn't the telegram make it? That was because they were having riots to protest the Civil War in New York. And since they were having riots in New York to protest the Civil War, the telegram never made it. Telegram never made it. Billy was somewhere in this courtyard, or somewhere back here in one of these brick buildings. He was shot. So even though he was pardoned by the President of the United States because he was mentally challenged, and Abraham Lincoln was a stupid guy, he knew. So he was pardoned, and they still killed him. And he died because they were having a riot to protest the Civil War, right? They didn't want you to get drafted into the Civil War. Meanwhile, there was a mentally challenged guy trying to get a telegram up here so that he wouldn't get killed. And it didn't make it because of the protest, and now he died, which is, you know, it's sad. Really sad, which definitely makes you appreciate the infrastructure we have nowadays. You know, you can actually understand that. Granted, we all pay taxes, we're all slaves anyway, you know, but you know, we all do our part, we have a good time, you know, there's always ways out to a better life, and it's nice to have some infrastructure that people that are disabled can actually benefit from. You know what I mean? Like, we don't all need to have a hard life. I mean, I'm not saying like hard, like poor me hard. Like, you know, life's beautiful, but it is hard. And it's cool to think that we can give mentally challenged people better opportunities now. You know, they don't need to go down with a ship. They just don't. You know what I mean? Just let them ride it out. Just have fun with it. Anyway, so that's it. This is Fort Preble, which is pretty, it's a cool fort. Alright, see if we can get out of here without getting yelled at. I've been doing a lot of driving on the grass. There's another little nook in there. Wow, look at that. And, oh, door's open. You know what that means? That means we're going in. What? Oh. Like, really? You can't just let us enjoy ourselves? That's so stupid. Huh. Another gun, gone. Keep off unstable granite. Get out of here. I am a grown man, and I do what I want. Wow. Yeah, there it is. This whole thing's a fort. Saw a lot of action, stuff like that. Here's a little port to the room that we just went in. This little port right here was a firing port for that room. Kind of cool. Anyway, there's this is an interesting fort. I'm glad I got to take you guys here, but there are some other things in Maine, and these are some of the most interesting as far as Maine's history goes, but there's some other cool stories, plenty of cool stories I could tell you about Portland, Maine, like how the Shanghai system worked, everything. For now, that's it. And if you want, not if you want, but I'm going to show you something else real quick. So just, that's so funny. We're just been all up and down this lawn. I am going to show you something else, and that's going to be over here. So I'm giving you guys a little sneak peek as to, let me fix my mic. Wow, look at that cruise ship. That thing's huge. I'll show you guys this. I'll show you the cruise ship in a second. But what I do want to show you is, if you like this video and found this interesting, I'm going to tell you there's a whole other story. Again, you can see the fort. We're just over more, but this behemoth right here has an incredible story behind it. And I'll tell you guys if you watch the next video. So for that, you're going to have to subscribe. And there's another lighthouse. The lighthouse is all over, man. I'll get you guys a better view. Hold on. Wow. No kidding. And I need to go, so we're going all the way back around, and we need to go over here. Home is that way. About 15 miles inland from those trees over there is home. So it's kind of cool looking around the ocean, knowing where your home is. You don't get to do that everywhere. But anyway, that was cool showing you guys that. I gotta go home and I gotta make some steak or something before I keel over. Really do. So I hope you guys liked that. I hope it was interesting, and always comment, what do you want me to show you? Is there something you like about the videos you want me to show you more of, less of? I try to keep these videos pretty structured so that I can improve them for you guys, and yeah, and so on. Just let me know. And again, I got plenty of surprises for you guys. I'm just cruising around, getting used to this new setup I got going, and yeah, get you guys some good videos. But anyway, guys, ride safe, take it easy, wish you guys the best, and I'm out.